It's me, Casey Francis O'Brien. I'm gonna go for 20 minutes. And I'm just going to wake up. Wake up. We're gonna drop Casey lore about my life as we're in this change. So I can let people know what I am before I die, just in case. Well, I'm pretty sure this is a holographic simulation, right? And they're all around us. And it's just a test to see what I do, right? An apple fell from the tree next to me, bro. So, you heard me? First thing, none of these personalities are me. This is the result of a lot of trauma that's depersonalized me, and I was fighting desperately to find some type of connection to the outside world. I was edging the Matrix to see what they would do if I revealed their secrets. I was seeing if they'd kill me. I know they can. They can just beam a thing right into my head. They can shut me down remotely. But instead, I've become this legend. There's another apple. They have not been falling. I've been here for 2 hours. They're not falling, but as soon as it's here, something's knocking these things down in my vicinity. So let's start off. I was supposed to be born on the winter solstice. I was conceived on St. Patrick's Day. My parents, Victoria, and a Aquarius, Cancer, Scorpio, and my father, a Leo, Libra, who they spent their entire lives within 30 miles from each other. And when one moved, the only time that they split up and they would follow each other they never met their entire life for 30 years, but they always were within 10 minutes of each other at all times. Until they both got married to other people for 10 years. And then my dad went to Hawaii and my mom got married in New York. But they both broke up around the same time. They both went to Vermont and they met, and I was conceived on St. Patrick's Day. My father was one of the best ski instructors in the state. He was so good at what he did that rich elites, the baby eaters, would take him on the boats. They would fight over who my dad would be able to train. My mom got most mischievous in high school or middle school. She was sent to a ranch, like a Dr. Phil ranch. The story is a man got into power and they started abusing the girls, and my mom had to escape. So my mom led an escape to get out of a Dr. Phil ranch that was keeping these young children prisoner in a world before internet. Way back in the Matrix. Then she went to Bronx and a lot of shit happened. So I'm conceived on St. Patrick's Day. My sister is born the same day and time. I don't know about time specifically, but I know they were both like they're shaped the same. Their face shape is the same. Her and Andrew Tate. It's picking up. It's picking up. It's picking up, bruh. So fast forward, I'm supposed to be born in the winter solstice. I crawl out on the 11th, that being the most powerful emotional number in numerology. My mom wanted to name me Francis after my great grandfather that immigrated from Ireland and trained messenger pigeons for World War II. And they said that he was so valuable as a person way back in the day when cars were such a rare commodity. People would drive all the way from across the country just to pick him up and then drive all the way back across the country so that they could just hear him talk. Here's another apple when there was no apples falling beforehand. They're knocking these apples off the tree. What does that mean? Does that mean I shouldn't be sharing this? Does that mean I'm not waiting for them to ripen? They're prematurely falling by me sharing this? So I'm a giant, right? I'm a giant ancient Irish Kemet. I'm seeing Aztec. I'm seeing Middle Eastern Buddhist. I bet I'm either in tune with them or I've been everywhere. To be a 33, you have to go through everything. It's the most challenging life path. When I was born on the 11th, God played every major seventh chord. The clouds opened and crowds formed. Angels rained down, holy heaven soars. Corpses spill and fell around the boy with an aura red, green, and gold. A legend who can't die until his story's told. I smoked, took control, broke out of the mold. When it found my soul, now I'm in control. Met the Holy Ghost, he taught me how to float. I bought all of my preachers an Uzi. You cannot chill in my jacuzzi. All of you losers are useless. I just made a porn, they're paying to view it. You're fucking a fucking computer. Quit making your fucking excuses. Just fucking do it. I felt like I lost a tarot reader. There was a tarot reader that clicked on my page, and I just lost him with my swag. But listen, there's a cat watching. There's a cat right over there just staring at me, sitting down right in front of me, right? Dead center. So, I was born at 33. I was born as all my placements are Sagittarius and Aquarius, except my rising and my Saturn's in Taurus in the first house, and my Jupiter's in Aries, and my Venus is in Scorpio. Everything else is Sagittarius and Aquarius. What that means is that I'm a forward-thinking, completely detached, floating ball behind here, mixed that has this driving, wild ferocity, man and beast, trying to integrate the heavens with the natural, with the humanity. I'm the embodiment of nature in the heavens. And my name, who my mom wanted to name me Francis, but she opened a book and a voice came into her head and said, "Pick Casey. Pick Casey." Casey is the tree of life. It's the DMT producing African tree that would introduce the Egyptians to the infinite. It's where they get all their knowledge from. It's how they grew their Eye of Horus, the DMT and the acacia tree that Moses used to build the mobile church. You feel me? Are you picking up what I'm putting down, bruh? Don't I look like a... Don't I want you guys to open your Google and look up Casey Rocket. Look at pictures. Then look at Kai Cenat. Look at pictures. Then look at Queso. Look at pictures. Then look at Kurt Kaz and look at pictures. Then look at Kendrick Curry. I'm just seeing a giant KC with the Native American arrowhead. Kingdom Come. King's Clones. Knights of Cernunnos. Kneel to the crown. King's Country. So, I was born, the umbilical cord wrapped around my neck, and I was in the middle of the day when the sun was the highest above me. I was taken by helicopter and flown out of New York City, where my grandfather, who was a cop, my great-grandfather trained messenger pigeons, my grandfather trained police officers, my uncle trains dogs, my dad trained rich men's children how to ski, and now I'm training the entire world how to shut the fuck up when I'm talking. I tried to move a mountain with you, you just want to talk, so you get left out in the dirt with all the garbage. I meticulously crafted an image and people bought it. I got soldiers waiting for the signal here to Colorado. I just designed a stage for crickets, chickens, kale and spinach, solar in the coop. I tell your pastor what to do. I'm the problem and the proof. I'm single-handedly saving VT, tree hugging like I'm Groot. I pop, aim, shoot. I can see at every angle. I just sit back and let him put the money on the table because I don't entertain snakes, fakes, or lames with false fables because I'm getting to the money as quick as Usain Bolt. I never saw that cane, but I know that I'm able. So when I see her on that rooftop in that raincoat, I just send a prayer for her because I know she took the stairs for her and she's fully aware that ain't nobody really care and it's rare to be there for her. yet she's still two-stepping and her Air Force is in the puddles. I don't want no trouble, but if you see me on the front lines with no umbrella, just know that I held it together and did it so she could feel something special. Either way, I'm on my... Okay. So, they took me away from my parents, and I was there for an inordinate amount of time, isolated away from my family. Then I was returned. And at some point between then and my first memory, which is of me sitting in this dark hallway, and my aunt, my mom's friend, has put... I mean, I remember the helicopter ride. I remember floating above my mother and telling her to pick Casey. The rest seems like my imagination is concocting it, and less like reality. My first memory is there's a sunflower, like a little sunflower toy that sings and dances, but I'm in a dark hallway, and they put that at the end of the hallway. It's just... They've connected a tarot reader to me. I've noticed that as I'm walking alone for a long time now, for months and months and months, there's been a guy's voice in my head where my whole personality changes. And what I'm seeing now is that was him at 11:22. That was him stepping into my life to... They're allowing him to see me. And then I get to experience what this high-level spiritual man has to say about my inner workings of my mind when I felt completely alone. And he's blown away by it, man. He's like asking me questions about how I do what I do. And then I try to answer him, but my experience is so unfathomably complex. I don't think that anyone could understand it if I didn't put it into a book or a song. But I give you bits and pieces. And he basically... The skills that he's teaching other people are skills that come naturally to me. I do like that he goes in depth about it, and he like what seems very simple to me, like kind of snapping your finger. He'll like go into the whole process of how to do it, like how to do telepathy, and I know what he's missing. It's the thing that people are afraid I'm gonna do. Like that's why I'm being monitored, and that's why I'm being suppressed. And why they're beaming down stuff into my brain, so that I can't think, and I can't think, and then I attack myself, and then other people will attack me because I understand how to do everything. There's a cat watching me. My tarot reader was talking about the Lyrans. The Lyrans have sent you the activation code in a key that's the same colors as your brand, your soul, and it's a key that's coming into your head. It's going to activate your DNA, and then those aliens that you keep seeing in your dreams. He calls the things that talk to me at night when I'm sleeping and when I find schizophrenics and I try to save them, and then a portal opens up in their mind and I can see them, their body and cells and DNA being used. Something chucked an apple at me. An apple does not fly sideways. 'Twas a ghost. 'Twas an invisible force. There's an invisible force right there. How would you handle that, bitch? Can I say it? Can I say it, please? Right to left. Right to left. I don't know how to explain to you that 4 apples just dropped, and then all the bugs went left to right. So I'm not comfortable with these fucking yeah, so like I told you, I don't think you guys are really realizing what position I put myself in by saying this. Like when I casually mentioned that some of these people in these buildings aren't real. whether or not they've lived complete lives, they only come out to disrupt the flow of other conscious entities. Like I'll ride my bike and then someone that hasn't left his house in weeks, as I'm walking up the street, someone that hasn't left his house in weeks, he barely leaves his house, just comes out like this and then walks right in front of my bike and then stops to block my way because he's trying to magnetize all my spiritual energy out of me. And then if it doesn't work, then all of a sudden somebody else comes out and tries, and somebody else comes out and tries until there's 7 police outside. And they've been doing this for years. When I'm at this point, I can recognize the alien DNA inside of me. I can recognize the ancestors living inside of me, my ascended masters. And I feel so more emotionally complex and unfathomable that it just feels like I am speaking to myself. Because if you're learning from me, if I'm a teacher and this is a school, why is it also a prison? Because I'm not ready. The stampede I prophesized my own come up, and then the world shifted in my favor to make it happen. Because that's my logo that I came out of the womb with. That's been my brand name since I was born, bro, is make it happen. And I know I can see it triggering that tarot reader. I can see this being so significant in his mind. When I say I'm the king, it is the lifetimes of ferocity. That's what I want to say. Lifetimes of ferocity, ancient Egyptian knowledge, Aztec rituals. I can see myself on the altar at the Aztecs burning and eating people. I can see myself in Egypt standing at in the pyramid, and there's this big deep well that we're standing over, and we're all throwing stuff into the well, and it's going into this big maw. And as I'm speaking and I'm calling energy, and it's knocking down tons of apples, something's hitting these apples off the tree. What else? KC lore. Oh, I sat in the back of the class building Legos. I grew up on top of a ski chalet for the DuPont family, the rich elite reptiles. I grew up in one of their ski chalets, alone, building Legos with my father, Gary the Legend O'Brien. He's a Leo Libra, 3 life path born on the 10th. I'm a Sagittarius Aquarius, 33 life path born on the 11th. My mom's an Aquarius Cancer that sits alone in her room and just relives her trauma, where she goes in circles going, I want to go home, I want to go home, I want to go home. Eventually, my dad and I got so powerful that the police showed up and they ripped him out of the car, and they ripped me out of the car, and they made me watch them beat the fuck out of my father so bad that once a year, he'll relive the entire experience drunk, and he'll call me on the phone and tell me to run. He's telling me to run from the police because he's living it. Something pilots him, opens the phone, and then shows off that he's reliving the trauma that the demons inflicted on him. Because as a 33 life path, I'm responsible for these people. This is my garden. I don't think you guys can comprehend. You guys cannot understand how heartbreaking that is to see you all as like flowers that I need to take care of, and that there are forces outside of me that are constantly snipping and burning and breaking these flowers I'm trying to cultivate, and I'm constantly trying to fight myself, fight my traumas, eat well, make my goals. The government's been beaming into my head, and then people will walk up and relay with negativity things like they're all possessed by demons, and the way that they're talking is obviously not Jesus. And then at the end of the day, right, it's all just to pressure you to wake up to the beauty and connection and love of the 5th dimension. So even though it all sucks, it's all really just to guide you to make it to comprehend and connect and harmonize, tune into the higher vibrational timelines, right? There's a reason I have the crown, bro. I went to Boston. I led an army of autistic losers, and I went to teach. I did my first boot camp where I paid for the whole thing, just to see if I could bring them to my level. They ended up leaving me drunk on the side of the street, but somebody gave me this. It's got my name on it, and then I thought this was a dog, but it's a polar bear. What's a mouse to a Doberman dragging her polar bear? I'm from somewhere your mama wouldn't let you go over there. Don't pretend that you know shit about shit. Sit down and let me overshare. So someone is approaching. If we can go back and see if maybe I tripped an alarm or something with the frequency, like I shot up a bit too high. Either way, I'm just charging my phone. There's no reason they should be here. But the police did take my knife. So we're gonna see. Worst case, they're just gonna tell me to leave. What time is it? It's midnight. It's 12:10. My birthday is 12/11. What else do you want to know? That I'm a tree that grows, and everywhere I go, I've never had a stable home, so I'm just constantly moving. In my life, I'm growing into different gardens and building relationships, and then we all grow together. And I've met my childhood heroes, and they all have similar names, and if I vibrate too far out, it gets weird. Yeah, they're just projecting hate. So something using that woman, or whoever that was, the things that were attached to her channel, is now trying to infect me. There's a lot of movement it's picking up. So the puppets, they're telling me to relay a memory that I had once of a man that was wearing alien goggles that followed me around one night when I asked if I could meet aliens. Just a butterfly. White moths. I'm seeing flashes. I've turned my imagination off. Voice in my head said they're trying to trick you. Oh, but he would follow me around and he would hide behind pillars. And that taught me how these beings will hide themselves in the area to siphon the emotional Bitcoin that comes through by positioning themselves. They're like they're like entering my peripheral space. So with magnetism, they try to delegate energy. And I used to be really good at fighting it, and that's why all this stuff happened, is because I got a lot more skilled. But when I went to jail, I had this big vision that all the people that were around me in the prison cell were knights that were wearing red cloths with like black emblems or silhouettes of their creature, their like coat of arms. And I was this big golden lion in a gray like this, but I had yellow on with black and gold and red. And they were handing me their swords, and then I walked away. And the way that I looked was the Page of Swords, maybe, I don't know, tarot. It's just they popped up into my feed, and then they addressed me directly, so I kept watching, and now I watch every time it pops up on my feed, in specific messages that are going back 9 months. So I just saw an alien. I'm like, I'm ascending, so I'm breaking the veil, and I'm seeing that they're jumping, and they're using their eyes and perspectives to keep me in like a little dome so that I'm able to express this better through the phone. But they're there. There's just a woman. There's some stranger that's twitching and standing over there. Why? Why would she do that? At midnight, at 12:11, why is there just a stranger at this government building, sitting there, standing there, twitching? This is a building that closes at 3:30 every day. It's just like a small office for people to do little stuff that helps the day-to-day of the town. But you're not ready for that. Casey Lore. The first girl I ever loved was the 33 Life Path. Second girl I ever loved was a queen. She was just a queen. Red hair, prettiest girl in school. I got her oh yeah, so I did acid with Cheap Trick on top of a mountain 10 years ago at the Hermitage Club, the most expensive ski resort in New England. And I worked as a dishwasher there when I was 14. I dropped out because I was in a small town and I was in love with a family that didn't love me back. They were all homeschooled. They have one of every zodiac. Their Sagittarius is a 12/11 like my birthday. And they just showed up at my house one day, just like all these families would show up while I'm building Legos, and suddenly there's 10 to 20 to 30 Irish kids a year that are coming through that my mom's just meeting, and they're introducing to me, and I'm just sitting there, and I can see that they all have skills that they're trying to develop, and I can see that I'm so much more than that, and I'm just showing them, like, that doesn't matter, that doesn't matter, that doesn't matter, that doesn't matter. And then they're like getting mad, ripping apart my whole room full of Legos that I had. And then I'm seeing polar bears and dragons and demons. And okay, so it's my energy. I'm slicing this like Fruit Ninja. And so there's a tarot reader guy sitting at he's sitting at a carpet. And we're going back and forth with each other. That's why my voice is kind of mixing and meshing than it did 6 months ago, because they have us both in this channel. I want that to be the case, okay? I'm learning from him because I'm a Sagittarius, so I'm able to take in his entire life and learn. I'm a 33, born on the 11th, so I can take in all his skills and live his life, learn from him, and then figure out the best way to enhance him usually, and I just did it. Because I'm the most generous man on the planet, bro. Yeah, I did acid with Cheap Trick. Guy named George, who I keep seeing in my life in my travels. He's this giant African man, beefy, but every time I see him, he's wearing Irish merch, like Conor McGregor pins and shit. And he was standing next to me while I was on acid. You can see how this is, either it's to teach you or it's a test, but you can see how my face is getting drained. It's because there's just a woman standing over there twitching like this. It's a prison guard, it's an alien. How would you handle this? What would you do, bro? What would you do? Could you do this? Are you brave enough? You heard me? I know you heard me. I've done so much in my life. You have no idea. Just out here being brave. So I'm seeing at a higher dimension, looking down on me, there's a bunch of there's like cats, they're people that are cats, they're cat people. And they're just right there. And now I'm seeing a bunch of blue aliens with tons of eyes. And now I'm seeing Slender Man. And my butterfly's coming over. I slept in a laundromat. I went from fat autistic loser crying to himself to talented musician fucking the best girls in school. I developed a skill set alone in an asylum for years, cold calling my way out to foster homes and then breaking out my other people with me. I killed my father when I was 14, that's what I'm saying. I killed Gary the Legend O'Brien, the Lion Man, because he He tried to kill me with a hammer, and I picked him up over my shoulder and I slammed him down, and he had a heart attack. And then I walked 2 miles barefoot, pajamas, top of a mountain, sub-zero, big wind chill right in my face. Walked that way 10 years later. After he traumatized me that bad, I brought him back up there, and I did exactly what he did to me to him. And then I carried my son Mark, my cat son Mark, and I carried him back in the middle of summer. 10 years later, I walked my cat back surrounded by fireflies up the same road that I walked down in the freezing cold on acid, escaping my father, who I just killed. And then I guided the police all the way up 10 years ago, and then I went into government custody. Yeah, they don't want me to reveal all of it, but can I say Stampede? I made this. I made this. I co-created this world. And I want it to be a stampede. I call it Stampede. I saw myself leading a charge against a bunch of white people taking advantage of Africa. And there's a dragon flying over me, and I'm running, and I'm surrounded by natives and Celts and Vikings and Spartans and bears and rhinos and elephants and giraffes and demons and angels and everything, just running at the white American culture, the rich white people that don't get it, the privileged, in the gorilla that's really just a man in a gorilla suit pretending to be a gorilla in the zoo, and then we just stampede past the whole thing. It's just a non-stop run until it's all trampled over and we can rebuild anew behind us. I see Cleo Ra, the other tarot reader. That's 144 from the stars, and Cleo Ra. That's who I'm getting. And there's this guy in the hood that comes in sometimes. But she just came down and told me that she's seeing my tarot reading right now. So they just showed me that she's seeing my tarot reading, or it's a star. Just seeing me planting seeds behind me as I'm... And here's the butterfly. Will it show itself? Come on, man. Come on, man. Well, it flew around me. I'm seeing I'm seeing little dots of light. So it's time to get up. It's 33 minutes in. It's time to get up. I'm doing it. I'm allowing you into my wing. Come with me as I lead the charge. It's gonna be amazing. Thanks for watching.